Wow, former President Biden just delivered a surprise takedown of Donald Trump in South Carolina. Former President Biden mocked Donald Trump for his 1 hour and 42-minute State of the Union. Biden said, "What's wrong with this guy? Is he still talking right now?" It's one of the most unhinged State of the Unions we've ever seen. Also, Biden called Donald Trump out for covering up the Epstein files and tormenting and terrorizing the Epstein survivors and victims. Also, former President Biden called Donald Trump out as weak and pathetic when it comes to jobs. Biden noted that in his last year in office, he created over 2.2 million jobs. And in Donald Trump's first year in office, Trump could not even create over 200,000 jobs. Biden pointed out in South Carolina that he handed Donald Trump a strong economy and Donald Trump destroyed it. Biden also called out Donald Trump for not supporting Ukraine. Again, this was a complete takedown by former President Biden of Donald Trump. Shall we go through some of the highlights here? And again, Biden was speaking at South Carolina as part of a celebration of the 6th anniversary of his South Carolina primary win. Obviously, he has a lot of roots and connections to South Carolina. And here's where Biden mocked Donald Trump's State of the Union. Let's play this clip.
By the way, to see Trump give the State of the Union, that's the last. Is he still talking? I don't know. But folks, it's unbelievable. The guy talks for almost 2 hours, but never mentions the anniversary of Putin invading Ukraine. Never once.
Next, former President Biden called Donald Trump out for not even offering words of support to the Epstein survivors. Let's play it. Next.
He doesn't offer a word of support, even recognition to Epstein's victims sitting in front of him during the entire time. He never acknowledged them.
Biden talked about how when he left office, he handed Donald Trump the strongest economy in the world. Here, let's play this clip.
Around the world, despite everything you read, despite the fact that COVID drove migration to record levels all around the world, the day I left office, border crossing into the United States were lower than the day that I entered that office inherited from Trump. He is, I won't say it. That's just a fact. On the day I left office, I handed Trump the strongest economy in the world. In the world. That's not hyperbole. That's a fact.
Next, Biden talks about how America knew under former President Biden that they had a president they could believe in who respect and followed the Constitution, but that's not true anymore. Let's play it.
You know, I'm getting pretty old. 40 times 2 plus a lot more. Well, I know more heads of state well than any president of the United States of America in all of history, just because I've been doing it so long. And folks, one more thing. The American knew they had a president who believed in, respected, and followed the Constitution. And the reason I was able to become many of the people sitting right in front of me, not a joke, from the mayors to the government, anyway. But none of that's true today. Now the Trump administration is determined to erase all the gains we made in my administration. And the rest of the world is taking note.
Next, Biden talks about how Donald Trump has jacked up the healthcare costs for millions of Americans based on his weirdo obsession with Obama. Let's play this clip.
We know a catastrophic is for the Trump administration to undermine America's commitment to vaccinations. America's walking away from a commitment to vaccines. Did anyone ever think you'd ever see a resurgence of measles in America again? Trump's already jacking up the cost of healthcare for millions of Americans because of this weird obsession with Barack Obama. What's his problem?
Jealousy.
He was proud. I was proud to build on Obamacare. Trump is still trying to destroy it. It's almost, there's something wrong with this guy.
And Biden says, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. These are indeed dark days, but we as the American people will always continue to fight for our democracy and fight for our country, and we'll be able to get through this together. Powerful words by Biden. Let's play this clip.
My friends, I can't sugarcoat this. These are dark days. The threats we face today are not anything new, but they're being amplified in ways that have never seen before. Our future is literally on the line. Our children are watching, and I'm worried about what they're hearing. So we have to be unapologetic for fighting for our country. The battle for the soul of this nation is one that's never really over. My late friend John Lewis used to say, democracy is not a state, it's an act. And here's the good news. In America, the power still belongs to the people for now. And the way to show the power is vote. Show up and vote. And folks, when we do that, that's bad news for Donald Trump, and he knows it. That's why he's trying to pull out more and more barriers, put them up. He's trying to steal the election because he knows if he can't win your vote, so he's going to do everything he can to prevent you from wanting to vote. Oh, mark my words. I hope I'm wrong. But watch. We can't let this happen. Just look at the poll.
Oh, and here's the clip I wanted to share with you where Biden talked about how he created 2.2 million jobs and Donald Trump only created 185,000 jobs last year. Here, play this clip.
We're the lowest average unemployment rate in 50 years. In fact, my last year as President of the United States, 2024, we created just the last year, 2.2 million additional jobs. You know how many jobs Trump's created in his first year as president? 185,000 jobs. Total. That's it. Of course, it shouldn't be a surprise. Trump's the only president, other than Herbert Hoover, who had fewer jobs when he left office than when he came into office. That's a fact.
Now, I just want to show you the contrast because as former President Biden was delivering that speech, you had Donald Trump speaking in Corpus Christi, Texas. Donald Trump was talking about having a fat friend who took a fat drug, and he's rich and fat, and he's fat, and rich. So Donald Trump wants to know that he's got a fat, rich friend, everybody. Yeah, that's what the American people care about. Trump's fat, rich friend, everybody. Yeah, here, play this clip.
And I tell the story of a friend of mine, very smart, very heavy guy, I'm trying to be nice, never use the word fat, very heavy, slightly obese, but he takes the fat drug and it didn't work. But he's a very brilliant guy, he's highly neurotic, very brilliant, very smart, rich. He calls me, he was in London, he called me, he said, you know, he takes the fat drug, one of the many fat drugs. And he says, in New York, I pay $1,300. And in London, I'm paying $87.
I know, it's so utterly pathetic. Then Donald Trump talks about how a real tough policeman said that he's having a lot of sex with his wife now because of Donald Trump. Here, play this clip.
I have a policeman. I tell the story. Same guy. I meet him. But it's this wonderful, tough policeman from New York. He's taking good care of us. And he said, sir, it's so good. My married life has gotten so much better. Why? My wife thought I was a loser financially. I couldn't make any money because my 401k was dying for years. And now she thinks I'm the smartest financial genius ever. It's made my sex life good. It's made my life good. It's given me a tremendous boost in life, sir. This is a big, tough cop. He said, my wife treated me like a dog, and now she admires my financial genius. And I haven't done anything. My 401k has gone through the roof. So I said, thank you very much.
And by the way, state regime media then put on its chyron, Trump's economy, a boost in your bedroom. That's how utterly deranged it is. And by the way, while Trump was speaking, he had his energy secretary, Chris Wright, on state regime media also. And here was Chris Wright. Let's play this clip.
All right, now with the preview of the president's speech, let's bring in the Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright. He joins us now.
I want to mention Donald Trump's Department of Energy secretary for a moment because I think this is important too. So as former President Biden was talking about helping the American economy, making people's lives better here, Donald Trump made a filing with the SEC today that Trump Media and Technology Group, the parent company of Truth Social, revealed in its 2025 SEC filing that it lost $712 million in 2025, and it brought in just $3.7 million in revenue. They just filed with the SEC their annual statement. So you may be saying, well, how are they able to survive if they've lost $712 million and brought in $3.7 million in revenue only, right? Those aren't good numbers for Trump's social media platform. Well, Trump Media and Technology Group announces on Friday that it will be spinning off Truth Social into a separate publicly traded company as it advances a planned $6 billion merger with a fusion energy firm called TAE Technologies, according to a report. So in other words, the social media company will become a fusion energy company. Now you may be asking yourself, so are there currently any uses for fusion energy right now? No, fusion energy does not currently work in the sense of providing practical, sustained net positive electrical power to the grid or any commercial application. It has achieved some scientific milestones in laboratories, but it has no kind of current use. Just so you know how it works, it uses kind of nuclear fusion. That's why it's called fusion technology. And so if you're wondering then, well, how does TAE make money? And why would that be why would Truth Social be becoming a fusion company? Well, that brings me to why I showed you the Secretary of Energy, because TAE has received government contracts from the DOE, the Department of Energy. Since 2019, they've been awarded multiple grants under the DOE's Innovation Network for Fusion Energy program. So it's making a lot of money from the federal government. And now Donald Trump has merged his company, or intends to merge his company rather, with a fusion company. And so a social media company becomes a fusion company that gets its money gets a lot of money from the United States government. I don't know. I mean, as between Biden and Trump, I'll let you decide, but I'm just giving you the stats and I'm just giving you that one vignette at the end about this fusion company thing, because I don't know. I personally miss that Biden term where, yeah, it may have been boring, but you know what? I'm okay with that. Democracy boring. I'm okay with that. Well, hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.